It's time. My favourite thing about Vale-Smith's music is that it's unpredictable. I mean, to be fair, most wonky trap stuff is. It's usually a sushi conveyor with no sense of ability to know what's approaching next. The plates swivel around and present to you in this order: a rice ball, salmon fillet, bag of waffle fries, and the Interstate and Defense Highways Act of 1956. That said, even with Raga samples and Godzilla screams flax woven into the instrumentals on this new album, Origami is a record with a very consistent atmosphere breathed throughout it. I use the morning vapor breath analogy a lot, but I'd like to think I'm genuinely hearing gentle exhales during the last minute of North Orbit. Snow Globe, the track before it, is genuinely perfect for that snow season, sporting a cold piano and warm acoustic guitar that play off each other like twin spirits. I remember loving the teaser EP released earlier this year and thinking that was a brief but satisfying set of progressive beat tracks, but also wondering how this sort of material might translate to an album. It's easy to overfill one when you're too eager, but you also just want to show off how much you can achieve. Well, maybe I shouldn't overthink that and take each release as it comes, because I found a lot of bliss in the way that Origami unfolds. Did you get that one? Unfolds. This is the kind of music that you would play at a winter rave, maybe while you're grinding down some dangerous skiing slopes. Albums full of little vignettes of wonky trap or future bass seem to work the best in my opinion when they follow a particular narrative or are strung together by a very clear mindset or sound. Given that Vale-Smith was working against the clock when he made this album, it's very clear that everything was conceived with the same concept in mind. The way that each track will play off the next, like the way that the first intermission carries on from Typhoon by employing the same piano melody over a clappier drum beat. Moments like these make Origami a splendid listening experience as a whole piece, sculpted with beautiful sound combinations and a balance between the peaceful and the party ready. It's also just the ultimate swag to drop one of the fieriest 54 seconds I've heard on any album this year, and just merely call it the second intermission. But it was the first 2 minutes of the final track, Graceful Charity, where I truly felt like this album was a beautiful statement on its own. Vale-Smith wraps up the album with a noiseless but windy piece, the longest by far, but also the one that sounds most definably like Closure or The Arrival Home. The ending also reminds me of Shooting Star Summit from Paper Mario. At once, this album is unpredictable, but it's also very cohesive. It's icy and gleaming, but it's also here to have fun. Maybe throw a snowball or two. I rate this album 8 snowballs out of 10.